Everyone, welcome back to How It's Really Going with Shayna Recker. And today I just wanted to share a little bit of an update and talk just about some of the bigger mindset shifts, I guess, I've had since making the decision to close the coaching business and, just had some sort of real big, major sort of life changes. I guess it's like not that a lot has changed. Well, I mean, yes, things have changed, but not a ton has changed. The way that I think about life has changed quite a bit. And I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the personal development industry. And I would say that's probably the biggest shift for me is my relationship with the personal development industry and how that has changed my thinking and has changed, there's just been a lot of things that have shifted in me since going through this process of, really doing the deep dive into online business and entrepreneurship and marketing and ethics, and also being a 48-year-old woman. I'll be 48 this year. My husband hates when I say that I'm older than I am. I'm actually 47. I'll be 48 in August. But, I'm at this is like a pivotal stage in our lives, females especially, where we change. I think actually menopause is called, there's a term for it called the change. It's incredible how much is changing. Like, it's not just physical changes. It's like my beliefs are shifting. The way that I see things are shifting. And so I don't think it's uncommon. I'm going to guess that it's not uncommon that women around this age make major life changes, much like I have, because of this shift in their perspective and the shift in their thinking. And so that's kind of all the things I want to talk about today. And I'm just riffing on this stuff, you guys. As you know, I didn't do the video this time. I'm just doing it for the podcast because I just feel like the podcast is where I'm meant to be. The YouTube channel, I'm actually going to turn that into a channel for my art business because I think that'll be more fun for me. And I think that'll just that's just what I want to do. I want to start by talking about the shift that I've had with my relationship with the personal development industry. Because when I started as an entrepreneur, I started actually in network marketing. Network marketing is what introduced me to the personal development industry. And that's oftentimes how a lot of people get introduced even into entrepreneurship, but also to personal development, because we start hearing these motivational speakers at conferences. We get, books. There's the whole network marketing space has its own even personal development books and things like that. It's its own industry with network marketing. And then, so that's where I started learning about mindset and about, positivity and beliefs and setting goals and, meditations and visualizing. We used to do vision boards and all that kind of stuff. And that was sort of like the entry. That was like my gateway drug to personal development, was like the network marketing system, and really, especially on the visualizing and the goal setting and that kind of stuff, because it's really uses goals and titles and dangling carrots to get you to push to the volume, to make the sales so that you can get the thing, so that you can, hit that next level. And that's where it really all started. And that's where it started for me. But as I started transitioning out of network marketing into my own business and into entrepreneurship on my own, I started up leveling the type of personal development that I was doing. It wasn't network marketing related. It was more mindset, and like mindset's such a broad word, but it was more where I got more into like deeper levels of how the brain works and hypnosis and, reprogramming and neural pathways. Like, these are all just sort of some of the words that were, used. I did the quantum leap. I was a certified quantum leap strategist. I did, so I was learning about how to create quantum leaps in life and business. And I took that, I got really interested in that stuff, and that's great. And I loved it. I was journaling every morning. I was, meditating, and I, not that there's anything wrong with those things, but I was doing it a lot. And I was, setting goals, visualizing. It was like I was constantly thinking about the personal development as an entrepreneur. It's the best way to describe it. It was like a constant voice in my mind that was, telling me all the time, like, are you doing this? Are you making sure you do that? Are you thinking this way? Oh, don't think that way, because that might, you might ruin your goal and you might not hit that. And, you've got to make sure you're journaling today. And did you visualize? And, oh, look, she's, done something amazing in her business. You need to visualize more. There's just like this constant nattering in my brain of being better, of being more, being better, being more, do more, have more, be more. Everything's possible. There's no limits, like all that stuff. And that was my life for, like, I would say it really started in about 2018, 19, 2020, 21. Like, I was really into it then. I had a mindset coach. I had taken that certification. I was learning the Bob Proctor methods. I was like watching all the videos. I was just immersed. I have 1,001 books in my bookshelf. It was a lot. And it was all in the name of trying to be more, do more, and have more in my life. And again, I think it's great to strive and have goals and want more. I absolutely do. But this is where my perspective started to shift. And so as I started learning about, some of it had to do with learning about the ethics in online marketing and how a lot of this mindset work and some of these things they're actually, like, there were people who were like debunking those things and saying, like, sure, some of this works, but some of this is just garbage. And I started learning a little bit about that as well, and how a lot of the mindset coaches and things that are out there are sharing these tactics, but a lot of it's based on privilege, right? Because not everyone can visualize their way to success. Not everyone has the same things and the same opportunities, the same backgrounds in order to create the same kind of results. And there's a lot of mindset coaches who say, hey, I did this, so can you. But that's not necessarily true. And so, that's just one example of some of the mindset sort of quote unquote debunking that I kind of started to come across. And it really got me to a place where I actually stopped everything in my life. I was somebody who definitely, like I said, journaled, meditated, visualized, wrote down goals, all that kind of stuff. And I just came to a point where I'm sure I was burnt out. I'm positive, like I know for sure 100% that I was absolutely burnt out as an entrepreneur in the past year. I really hit that burnt out plateau. But I was also burnt out from doing personal development, like hiring coaches and learning and implementing and doing and trying. And I was burnt out from all of it. And I just wanted to stop. I just wanted it to stop. And, as you guys know, I recently took a part-time job at working at a salon. It's one of the big salons here in our hometown. And what I've realized since taking that job and having those 3 days a week where I'm just at the salon, doing the salon stuff, not thinking about anything except for the salon, I have realized how much my brain was constantly working prior to that, and how, like, it's such a relief to just like let go and not have to think about what my next move is, or what my next thing is, or what my next goal is, or, if I'm doing enough, or if I'm, my brain is wired right or not wired right, or what can I do more of to help reprogram? Like, it's like, I got to this point where I realized there's nothing fucking wrong with me, and I'm okay. And I can live a friggin' amazing life and have peace and have happiness and have joy without having to push and strive and learn and reprogram and rewire and meditate and visualize and do all of these things. Like, those things aren't what's creating a good life. Those are things that help you achieve more and do more and have more, but they don't actually change you having a happy life. You are the only thing that's responsible to creating a happy life. And that's just comes from making a decision that you're happy. And I think that's probably been one of the biggest shifts for me, taking this job and leaving the business coaching and, just sort of, I don't know, dabbling in a few things in my life right now, is that I'm really happy. Like, I'm really happy. I love the job. I love doing the websites for people. I love that fact that I don't have to show up on social media every day and post something. Like, previous life, when I was doing the business coaching and stuff, I felt behind if I didn't get on social media every day. And that's not cool in my books. Like, I don't want to have to be tied to social media in order to feel like I'm relevant and I'm growing a business. For some people, that's what they like and they're good with that, and that's fine and that's cool. But for me, I just came to a point where I literally felt like I was breaking. And so by taking this job, I didn't realize how much that job was actually saving me. It's funny because people have said to me in the last, I would even say last couple of weeks, last month, how much happier I seem, how my energy is different, how I seem like I just have a different vibe about me. And it's because it's because I'm happy doing what I'm doing. And I'm not trying to strive for something outside of me or something external or something that I don't have yet in order to feel happy. I'm just feeling happy now, right? Nothing major has changed in my life. It's not like I'm making tons more money and, I'm still living the same life I was 6 months ago. I just stopped doing the things that felt forced and felt like that just, felt forced. And I started just surrendering to the things that felt good in the moment, like taking that job, like leaving coaching, like starting to do some websites here and there for people, like that. Just where before that would have been like, my ego would have been like, oh my God, no, you can't do that. You're not, you don't take a job. You have a business. You're an entrepreneur. You need to keep striving. You need to keep being successful. You need to keep putting yourself out there and doing and proving and showing up so that you can be this multi-million-dollar amazing boss woman out there with all the things and all the success. And that's what's going to make you happy. And that's so far from the truth. That would actually probably have driven me even more crazy than I already was, trying to strive for that. Because here's the thing, what I know, and I've said this multiple times, is that had I had done that, had I had got there, it wouldn't have been enough. There would have been something else that I would have wanted, something else that I was striving for, something else that I was pushing for. And it wasn't until I got myself to this place where I could quiet my ego and just like tell it to shut up and be like, what feels good right now for me? What do I want to do? And I just wanted to let go. I wanted to let go of doing personal development every day. I wanted to let go of striving to try and be a 7-figure entrepreneur. I wanted to let go of, trying to force something that just didn't feel like it was working. And I wanted to be okay with saying, I quit this because it wasn't working, and not feel like a failure or feel like embarrassed or feel like, people are going to, whatever. I honestly don't care what anybody thinks, because one of the big shifts that I've made in my mindset is that all that matters is what I feel. Am I happy? Am I okay with it? Is my family okay with it? Like that's it. And outside of that, everybody else can have their own fucking opinion. I do not care. And so I can show up on social media one day and share a website I've created or share some art that I created on my other account, or I can not show up for a week and I don't care. And like old me, if I hadn't showed up for a week, I would have been on going, okay, I took a social media break, explaining why I wasn't on social media and like what, like I would have been feeling like I was behind, like, And for some people, that's okay. They love that. They're okay with that. And they thrive with that. And that makes them happy. And that's totally fine. But for me as an entrepreneur who felt like I was trying to force a business that just wasn't working for me, turning it off and shutting it down was honestly the best decision that I could have ever made for myself. And I don't know what the future is. I don't know what the future is right now, but I don't know where I'm going, how long I'm going to stay doing the things that I'm doing right now. But right now it feels really good. So that was like one of the biggest, I would say the biggest sort of mindset shifts that I've made is I've stopped feeling like more is what equals happiness. And that comes down to money, success, followers, clients, revenue in my business. Like more isn't the answer. The answer is being satisfied with whatever you have in this moment and being okay with it. And tomorrow it might change. And the next day it might change and it might go up and it might go down or it might whatever, but being okay with it, no matter what it is, and choosing to wake up and being happy regardless of what's happening outside of you. And that's not an easy thing to do. Trust me, I've had to work through a lot of things to kind of get to this place where I just feel satisfied. And you know what? My husband and I were actually talking about this morning, is that we were having this conversation and he was like, I think this also comes with age. Like, I just think as we get older, we care less about the things. Like Don't get me wrong. I want to have a nice house. I like to drive a nice car. I like to wear nice clothes. I'm not saying that I don't care about those things anymore. I'll get them when I can get them. I'll have them when I have them. I don't need to have them in order to feel a certain way. And that's how I was in the past. It was like, oh, when I get there, then I will feel satisfied, or I will feel successful, or I will feel happy. And now it's like, fuck that. I'm happy now. I do what makes me feel good now. And if it means I don't make as much money, I don't care, because I'm happy. If it means that I don't have as much free time every day, I don't care, because it makes me happy. I have less free time now than I've had ever in the last 10 years of my life. And I couldn't be happier, because I'm in a space with these amazing women. I'm working 3 days a week with them. I get to open the salon. I feel like I'm proud of the work that I'm doing. I want to do a good job. I'm enjoying the relationships I'm creating. It feels good to me to be there. I feel like I'm part of a system. Like, I can't explain it. That's as best I'm doing a shitty job explaining, but it feels really good. Is this going to be the rest of my life? I don't know. Does it make me tons and tons of money? No. But do I care? No. And that's the thing. I've let go of trying to make money the ultimate goal of success, happiness, and fulfillment. And those things are important. Money's important. We know that, but it isn't the driver. It's not the thing that creates that. Money does not create happiness, fulfillment, or joy. It can temporarily, but you need to be happy with or without it. And that's the place where I feel like I've come to in my belief system, where before it was like, I wasn't enough until I was, making millions of dollars. And now I'm enough whether I'm making millions of dollars or not, right? Like, this is the kind of thing that we get to this place in our lives where what other people think or do or have or whatever is just none of my business. The only thing that matters is me. And I think I had to go through this sort of crumbling, or this like taking down of personal development systems of, you set the goal, you visualize, you do these things, and you do it over and over, and you repeat it. I had to like let go of all of that to get the clarity and to get the brain to stop enough to see what actually meant something to me. And I think this is something that a lot of people I think I'm going to bet that some of you guys listening to this right now are feeling what I'm saying, that you are stuck in this personal development loop of, I can't stop, because if I stop, then my goals won't happen. And, if I miss a day or whatever, and it's slowly killing you. Like, that's what it was for me. And I didn't see it, because I felt like, no, it was the answer. It was the answer to help me get the things so that I could be successful, so that I could be happy. But it was actually what was hurting me. And I'm not saying that personal development is bad. I think it is great. I've actually just started reintroducing meditation again, because that is something that I do really love to do. I stopped everything for about 2 months and just kind of like, just gave myself a break from it all. And I have been feeling the urge to get into meditation again. I'm not reading any personal development book, but I'm really not following any personal development gurus. I've gotten rid of all of that shit from my life. And I'm just following my own guru, really, at the end of the day. And that's my inner feelings, my inner guidance, noticing when my ego is piping up. And I'm also okay with it. I can recognize it, but I'm also really trying to make decisions from a gut place, what really feels good to me and what doesn't. And if it doesn't feel good, I don't do it. And if it feels good, I do it. And that's like my guidance system now. I'm not visualizing. I'm not writing in a journal my future goals. Sure, there's things that I want in my life, and there's things that I want to have. And there's, when my kids are all grown up and in the university and it's just Jason and I, we want to travel, we want to do some things. So, it's not like I don't have goals or visions and things that I want to have in my life, but I'm not making that the thing that I'm chasing. It's just there. It's just something, yeah, sure, I'd like to do that at some point. And if it happens, amazing. If it doesn't, something else will happen, and I'm sure it'll be just as good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with it either way. And I think that's probably been one of the biggest things. Like, I'm doing things for the satisfaction and the feeling, not the money. And that's huge, because I used to live my life driven by the dollar. And I just am like, I'd like to make money, but I'm also not letting that be the thing that dictates my happiness, because that's a losing game every single time. If you can be happy with whatever's in your bank account today, whether it's $10, $100, or $1,000, or whatever it is, minus $100 or whatever, and you can find things to be grateful for and feel happiness and feel joy, regardless of what's going on in your life financially, like that's truly when you've won. Because then if things get good, amazing. And if things get shitty, then you can get through it. You know how to get through it. And that's kind of how I feel like, my husband and I, we almost went through bankruptcy. Like I was like, if we can get through that, we can fucking get through anything. We've been through all kinds of different things. And what I do know in this life, what goes up must come down. Always. It's a law, the law of rhythm. And I honestly have witnessed that law in my life so many times. And because it's a law, whether you believe it or not, but you'll have really great things happen in your life, and you'll have maybe tons of money come in, but then you'll also have other things happen in your life that aren't so great. And maybe the money goes, or maybe something else happens, but it is an actual law, things that what goes up must come down. And so you have to be happy whether things are up or down, because it's going to happen either way. It's going to happen. So the goal is to be satisfied regardless of what's going on in your world. And that's when you truly won. And I feel like that's kind of the place that I maybe not there 100%, but that's the place that I'm getting to. And I don't know if that's just coming with age, the perimenopause. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure why I've all of a sudden made this big shift in my thinking, but I think it has to do a little bit with taking time away, with taking the break, with just making these changes, with just like my perspectives have shifted. The things that I want in my life have shifted. And now I see it's like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. I'm the one who's in control of how I feel, not the circumstances. So I'm just going to be okay with whatever the circumstances are and live my life and be happy and allow the circumstances to fluctuate. But also, I'm going to take risks, take chances. I'm going to do things. I'm obviously going to do what I need to do to survive and make money and do the things, but I'm not doing things because of the money. I'm doing things that make me feel happy, or that make me feel satisfied, or that make me feel good, or that feel like the right decision. And that's what's guiding me. That's a total new way for me to be thinking, which feels really, really good. So anyways, I just wanted to share that, because I do feel like there's this space in the personal development, especially the entrepreneurship place, where it gets so shoved in our faces that if you're not doing these things, then you can't or won't be successful. And I call bullshit on that for sure. And I will say, being off social media, it's not like I'm totally off social media. I'm on social media. I just don't have any kind of posting schedule, or I don't care if I post one day or don't post the next or whatever. That has been so good for me too. You guys don't realize how much social media affects your mindset and affects your everything, especially if you're in a space where you feel like, if I don't post, I'm not worthy, or I'm not good enough, or I'm behind. That's something to notice. And that's definitely a place where I was. And it has been good for my soul to kind of step away from that. And here's the thing, if you're resonating with any of this and you're maybe where I was a year ago, and you're listening to this and maybe you're feeling this, but maybe you're not ready to, fully let go like I have, know that it's okay. It's okay to just notice it for right now. You don't have to change anything drastic. You don't have to do anything crazy. You just need to notice it and just be aware of how you're feeling. Because that's really what happened with me, is I just started to really become aware of my feelings, and certain feelings just continued to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Feelings of this isn't working. Maybe it's time to close it down. And instead I kept trying new things and saying, no, one more try. I'm going to try this new program. I'm going to try this new thing. I'm going to make it work. And it was just finally the one day, like I had mentioned in the last podcast, which is one day I think I said it in the last podcast, one day that I had a client who didn't want to do the program after signing up. And that was just it for me. It was just the final thing that I just said, nope, I'm done. And I have yet to look back. And so just be aware and know, but your gut will tell you. Like my gut was screaming at me for sure. And at that moment, at that time, when that happened, it was like a full body, it's time. Today is the day. And that was the day I messaged all the clients that I had and closed everything down. It was about a week later, I did that social media post, and ever since then, I've just been sort of flying by the seat of my pants, doing what feels good, working at the salon, doing some websites here and there for people. Just kind of figuring things out as I go, but it feels really good. And so if you are feeling that, just start to recognize it, and don't, like I said, you don't do anything crazy or drastic. Just recognize that this is maybe something you're noticing, and just play with it. Like, just be with it. Just be with it. Continue to keep doing what you're doing. Maybe take a few breaks here and there from social media. I highly recommend that. And when you'll know. And maybe you won't. Maybe you'll be like, no, friggin', I'm loving everything I'm doing. It's working. I'm super successful. I'm happy. This is great. Awesome. Keep going. Keep doing you, boo. Like, don't change a thing. I'm speaking to those who are in the space that I was about a year ago, where they just maybe kind of had that inkling that maybe this wasn't what they were meant to be doing anymore. And maybe you're at the same age as me. Maybe you're going through some of the same things as me, and you're having some of the same feelings that I had. And so notice, be aware, and, ask yourself the questions. Do I really want to keep doing this? My husband asked me this question probably about 6 or 7 months ago. And he said, if you had $1 million, if you won $1 million tomorrow, would you still keep doing business coaching, being on social media, doing all the things? Would you keep doing that? My answer was no, I wouldn't. And that said a lot, because I said I would do art. If I could financially just be in the studio, create, share what I was creating online, have the finances to back me up so that I could build an art portfolio and do shows and, build up my presence and like not have to worry about money. That's what I would do. So that said so much. Like, it said so much. And that question just kept resonating in my brain. And I just was like, yep, there's something that needs to change. There's something that needs to change. So I don't know. That's just what I feel. And that's just what I wanted to share. And I hope that if you're listening to this right now and you're feeling the feels that I'm sharing here, that you just give yourself some time and space to think it through. You're always welcome to message me on Instagram, whether you message the I am Shana Recker Instagram or the Shana Recker _art. Both of those come to me, and I would be happy to share some words of advice if that is you. All right, everyone, that's it for me. I hope you're all doing well. It is almost June, and I'm excited for summer. I hope that you are too. And I'm not sure when I'll be back here on the podcast, but stay tuned, stay subscribed. I am going to be sharing updates and things as I keep living the life and figuring things out and share how it's really going. Okay, everyone, that's it for me. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.